Hello everyone, Aquarius season blessings. If you're practicing this on the new moon, happy new moon. And if you're practicing this throughout Aquarius season, then happy Aquarius season. So if you're here on the new moon again, so we're just at the very beginning stages of Aquarius season, and new moon energy is inward, and it's like the beginning of a cycle, and it's planting seeds time, but it's still pretty slow. We're not like moving so fast yet. So we're embracing those energies if we're practicing this around the new moon, and if after we're we're embracing this movement of those seeds we planted during the new moon. So a little bit about Aquarius. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn and Uranus. So we're like way later in the zodiac. Aquarius is the second to last sign in the cycle of the zodiac. And like I've said before, the constellations are like constellations of forces. So there's like different stars making up these constellations, and there's different energies making up the archetypal force of Aquarius. So Saturn and Uranus are in that archetypal force, as well as Aquarius is an air sign, and it's a fixed air sign. So I'm just going to try to break it down really fast, and then we'll get to our yoga practice. But so first of all, Saturn is cold. Saturn is downward moving, cold, constrictive, and Saturn's like earth energy, but just like it's like solid and like fixed. And so that archetype kind of comes out in the Aquarius body, like in the body during this time of Aquarius season. And also if you have Aquarius in certain places in your chart, then it will come out in that as well. And then we have Uranus, which is the next planet after Saturn. It's the first planet that we can't see with the naked eye. And Uranus was discovered at the same time that electricity was discovered. And so therefore it rules the electrical system of our body. And so Aquarius is very associated with that. But so we can relate Uranus to the air sign of Aquarius, and it can bring us like a lot in our head. And especially so since Aquarius is a fixed air sign, then we can really just get like kind of in our head and kind of like wiry, and it can maybe lead to some nervous system burnout or something of the sort, just a little bit of overwhelm. So we're bringing these two energies together, and during practice this month, we're working on being in our bodies and getting our energy moving in our bodies, because Aquarius also rules like the peripheral circulation. And since we are in midwinter, it's still cold in the northern hemisphere. We're in midwinter, and many diseases of the Aquarius nature are due to coldness. So we're going to have some sun salutations, and we're going to practice just truly being in our body, and more in like the mind and Mercury and soul level of Aquarius is it's like knowing our individual truth and sharing that with the world for like the greater good of the world. And so during practice, let's focus on being in our body, because we know our body and we know our truth in our heart. And that's where our truth really lies. It's not in our mind, it's in our heart. And so when we act from this place, and then we're working with peripheral circulation physically in the body, and we're also working on that like in our psyche and in our spirit, we're like, okay, we are here in our center. And that's unique to ourselves. And so then we move out from that place, we circulate our truth peripherally so that we're like giving for the greater good of the world. So I know that was a lot, but our mantra for Aquarius season is, let's see, I'm going to read it. When I am present in my body, in my heart, I know my truth. My unique truth, I radiate from this place. So keeping that with us through practice today. And let's start in a seated position. Have a blanket or a pillow that you can support your hips with. And this is ultra important during this practice, during Aquarius season, when we're working with these really strong mind energies. So the reason that we support our hips is that when we're seated, is that we want our hip flexors to be able to relax. So if you're here like this, your hip flexors aren't relaxed. So maybe you even want something higher. Maybe you want to fold your blanket double. Maybe you want to sit on 2 pillows. And so whenever our hip flexors are relaxed, our mind is able to relax. So let's just take a few moments to drop in with our breath. And if possible, let's bring in the Ujjayi breath throughout our whole practice today. So the Ujjayi breath is when we're breathing in through our nose and out through our mouth. And we have this slight constriction in the back of our throat. It's more like a valve, the slight valve in the back of our throat. So if you were like fogging up a mirror with your mouth, you go, there's that valve you make in the back of the throat. So we're breathing in through that place, in through the nose, in through that place, through our whole entire body. And then we breathe out and out through that valve in our throat and out through our mouth. So always continuing with the breath. Continue with your own rhythm in the breath. You don't want the inhale or exhale to be strained. So find your rhythm. And if your rhythm is different from my rhythm, that's okay. Go with your rhythm and just kind of follow my lead. Taking these moments with our breath to observe our bodies, to be present in our bodies. Observing with no attachment to what we find, just finding. To begin our practice, let's start with 3 ohms. So oming is a mantra, and mantra focuses the mind, and the vibration brings us back into our body. So let's drop into our movement for the day, for the practice. Let's come to our hands and knees to start. Hands are beneath shoulders, knees are beneath hips. Let's just begin with a bit of cat-cow. So moving from the heart, moving from the base of the sternum. As you inhale, dropping base of sternum, lifting hips and head. As you exhale, lifting base and sternum, dropping hips and head. Move with your breath. Continue. Just these little movements to warm up the body. And then coming back to a neutral place, neutral spine. Maybe you want to bring your left knee in just slightly. And as we inhale, we'll inhale back with our right foot. Inhale out, left hand. And begin to point and flex the toes. I forgot to mention earlier that Aquarius also rules the ankles. So we're just bringing some movement into the ankles. We're reaching out our front fingertips and out our toes. We're breathing. And you can circle the foot one way and the other way, breathing into the foot. And exhale, coming down. Inhale, opposite side. So here we're just really stretching in both directions and then bringing movement into the ankle, point and flex the toes. Breathing into this ankle, breathing into the feet, the fingertips. Remember, Aquarius is peripheral circulation, so that's why we're working to send our breath to the toes and the fingertips, because I don't know about y'all, but I definitely get cold hands and feet in the winter time. And that's something I'm working on with herbs and yoga and everything, but it starts from the center of the body and then we work outwards. So we're working on it physically and mentally today. And let's just come back to a quick child's pose before we move up. Bringing knees together, forehead to the mat. Fingertips can be out in front of you, or they can be up, palms facing upward. Bringing palms out in front of you if they aren't already. Coming back up, hands and knees. Hands beneath shoulders, knees beneath hips. Chakravakasana, again, right before we stand up, we're adding in this posture. So as you inhale, fill your body with breath. As you exhale, pushing through the palms, beginning to tilt the vertebrae one at a time as your hips simultaneously come back towards your heels. Hips almost touch heels. Inhale, unfurl the spine, bend the elbows, pull through the hands, coming up to neutral. There's a lot going on in this posture, so let's do it 4 more times. Finding your breath. On your exhale, pushing back, tilting the spine one vertebrae at a time. Hips almost to heels. Inhale, bending elbows, pulling through hands, coming back to a neutral spine. Continue. And when you finish with your 5th Chakravakasana, flip the toes, come back downward facing dog. Lift the hips. Shoulder blades are wide, heart is open. Remembering the Ujjayi breath. And on your exhale, tiptoe feet to meet hands. Inhale, half lift, lengthen spine, hands come to shins. Exhale, fold. And then when you're ready, inhale, push through the feet, arms come wide, come to standing. Exhale, hands at heart center. So I just want to reiterate, at every time, listen to your body. And if your body's telling you to do something differently than I'm telling you to do, then you listen to yourself first. And if you're not sure, but you just know that you're not feeling good, then just take a rest. Like maybe come to child's pose or just come to seated and take a rest. And so we're going to come into 3 sun salutations. So if you're feeling it, stick with me. It's going to be a little bit of energy and movement, but we're just working on keeping that fire going in this midwinter time here with sun salutation B. So begin hands at heart center. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, sit back to chair pose. So feet are hips distance apart. Exhale, forward fold. Lengthen legs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga, come all the way down. Inhale, cobra. So we're doing a small back bend to start. We've got plenty of cobras coming that you can do a higher back bend. Exhale, come down. Flip the toes. Inhale, up through plank or hands and knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, right leg through, crescent pose. So here your right leg is at a 90-degree angle. Your back toes are on the floor, but the heel's lifted. It's just facing straight. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold, hands frame the foot. Inhale, back, plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga, come all the way down. Inhale, cobra. Shoulder blades are down, so we're not shrugging our shoulders. Exhale, come down. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, foot comes in between the hands. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hands come down. Inhale, back, downward facing dog. Breathing here, Ujjayi breath. And exhale, feet walk up to hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Knees bend. Inhale, come up from chair to chair pose. And inhale, coming all the way up. Slight back bend. Exhale, hands at heart center. So that is sun salutation B, and we'll continue with two more. We're gonna add a triangle in also. Inhale, arms up. Lifting slightly at the base of the sternum. Exhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stepping back. And exhaling, hips back for downward dog. And remember, you're always breathing. You're never holding your breath. If you need to take an extra breath in between my words, take your extra breath. And then inhale, coming forward, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. So you can continue to come all the way down and inhale up through cobra. Or, well, we'll do this and then next time I'll show you upward dog. Exhale, coming down. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, right leg back. Exhale, crescent. Or inhale, exhale, knee comes forward. Inhale, up for crescent. And so now setting up for triangle pose. So turning the back foot down where the middle of the back foot is in, or the heel is in the middle of the back foot. Straighten front leg. Inhale, arms come wide, facing over your front fingertips. Exhale, reaching out over your front fingertips and then coming down. Back of the hand comes on the inside of the ankle. Left arm reaches up. Gaze towards the ceiling, breathing. And exhale, top arm comes over, front knee bends, you're back in your lunge. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, coming down, chaturanga, and either can come through cobra, or you can come almost all the way down, flip your toes. Inhale, up, upward facing dog. So the only thing that's on the mat in upward facing dog is the tops of your feet and your hands. And you're lifting up for a back bend. Exhale, hips come back, toes flip, downward facing dog. When you're ready, inhale, left leg up. Exhale, forward, and inhale, crescent. Setting up for triangle on the other side, so back foot comes down, front leg straightens. Inhale, arms come wide. Exhale, reaching out over the front. And exhale, side bend, back of the hand comes to the ankles. Gaze goes to ceiling. Top arm comes down, frame the foot, bend the front knee, come into a lunge pose, and then coming back, downward facing dog. Exhale, walk the feet to meet the hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Bending the knees. Inhale, come up through chair. And in chair, you want to make sure you have a neutral tilt of your spine. So you don't want to be tilting too forward. You don't want to be tilting your hips too forward or too back. So neutral. And then inhale, coming up. Exhale, hands at heart center. One more time, same flow with triangle. You got this. We are getting our prana moving. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, forward fold. Oh, I forgot chair. So bend the knees, inhale, come up, chair. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stepping back. Exhale, hips come back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, foot forward. Inhale, crescent. Setting up triangle pose. Exhale, reaching out over your front leg and fold. Back of the hand comes to ankle, top hand comes up. If you want, you can reach your top hand over your ear, your bicep to ear, fingertips reaching out to where your toes are facing in front of you. Gaze is still up. And exhale, coming down, coming in to a lunge. Inhale, open up, come back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. This is our last one. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, back downward dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, foot between hands. Inhale, coming up, crescent. Setting up for triangle, back foot comes down, front leg straightens, arms come out. Exhale, reach out in front and fold. If you want on this side, you can reach your top arm out over your head, bicep towards ear. And coming down, lunge. Coming back, downward facing dog. Tiptoe feet to meet hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Bending knees. Inhale, chair. Then inhale, coming up. Slight back bend. Exhale, hands at heart center. Taking a few moments here to be present. Feel your heartbeat, the center of our circulation. Continue your breath. And when you're ready, let's open up for our wide stance. So open up along the long edge of your mat. And you might want a prop. You might want a block if you have a block. You could also find something near that works. Like I have this drum here, which might be a little high for me, but maybe I'll do it on the side. And coming into our wide-legged stance. Hands come to hips. So we're lifting up through the perineum, this place at the very center at the bottom of our trunk, lifting up, lengthening the spine. And when you're ready, hinging at the hips, exhale, coming forward. Being mindful to not jut your hips out behind you, but you're staying in the same plane. And you can bring your hands down to your block or your prop, or you can bring them down to the floor and you can bring your head down to your prop. But yeah, it might help you to turn your toes inward just slightly. And having your head connected to something can be really helpful for grounding, for like this Uranian mind that we're working with in Aquarius season. So just having like that connection with some solid earth object can help ground the mind. So when you're ready, let's straighten the arms, and whether you're using your prop or not, you can have your hands on your block or the floor. And let's bring left hand down, palm, you're supporting yourself with your palm. And right hand comes to the base of the sacrum. So the sacrum is this like little upside down triangular shaped bone at the bottom of your vertebrae of your spine. So we want that to stay flat. We're twisting, but we're twisting through the upper body. Inhale, lengthen spine. Exhale, twist from the belly button, open up. Hand can come up, your sacrum still stays level. So maybe that brings your twist more into the upper body, and that's great. Exhale, inhale, we're unwinding. And then exhale, forward fold. If you need to bend your knees at all, just slightly, or that can take some weight off. And let's inhale, lengthen arms, lengthen spine. Right palm to the earth or your prop, left palm to your sacrum. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Breathing. Inhale to unwind. Exhale, forward fold once more. Hands come to hips, bend the knees, inhale, coming up. And then heel, toe, feet together. And we are moving down to the floor, so let's move down to child's pose. However you like, knees together or knees apart is great. Taking a moment to again connect the head with the earth. When you're ready, inhaling to come up. So we're going to come into Kakasana, which is crow pose, which is an arm balance. It can be kind of challenging, so just, again, do what you can, and no judgments on yourself. We're just here. Maybe you've done this posture before, or maybe you're trying something new, which is so great. Try something new. You're not supposed to be a master the first time you do something. So let's just roll our wrists a little bit. Getting the synovial fluid moving in our wrists. We'll even bring our fingertips back facing ourselves and stretch out our wrists a little bit. And if you have arthritis in your wrist, then just, go easy on yourself. And maybe you're just starting the pose and you're just doing the movements. We'll do some movement in our abdomen, and maybe that's all, and you just are really slightly leaning on your hands. There's always ways that I can modify postures. Okay, so setting up, we're starting with our feet on our toes. Our feet are our toes are facing outwards, like our knees are facing in the same direction as our toes. Our hands are shoulders distance apart like normal. We're setting up, let's roll the shoulder blades back. And then the arms, I'm just gonna open my knees a little bit. So the arms are slightly bent. So where we're going is that we're gonna bring the insides of our knees up on the tricep, and we're gonna lift our feet up. So shoulder blades are down, and remember the perineum, that place in the very center of the bottom of our trunk. So we're lifting up, we're kind of like contracting our abs. So lifting up through there, the bottom of our abs, like in the middle of our body by our belly button. So that's gonna help us get our feet off the ground. So coming up on your toes, insides of knees coming towards triceps, lifting up through the perineum. And then if you can, you lift your toes off the ground, toes come together. Breathing through the whole pose. Maybe you want to try it a couple of times, or maybe you did it and you're good. We'll just take a couple of minutes. You're welcome to go into the posture again, or just sit here in Malasana. I'll try it one more time. And whenever you're ready, we are moving to our backs. So coming down to our back. You can roll your wrists out again. And we're gonna we're gonna start in plow pose, and then we're gonna come up to shoulder stand. So if you're menstruating, or if you have high blood pressure, then choose not to do these postures. You can have your feet just coming into the air and your hips stay on the earth. That's a great alternative for Both of these, there's sometimes, if you're menstruating, you just don't do inversions. And if you have high blood pressure, there are some ways you can get into these postures, but I would recommend you doing them with a teacher, not just like an online video. So if that's your case, then stay with your feet up, or you can go to a wall and bring your feet up the wall. And if it's not, then let's start in plow. So we're lifting our hips, pushing to our upper arms and bringing our feet behind us. Don't turn your head while you're in this posture. You're coming up onto your shoulders. Your chin is tucked. Not tucked all the way, but it's tucked. And in plow, you can support your hips. And if your feet are not touching the ground, then definitely support your hips. If your feet are touching the ground, you can bring your hands down. Breathing. Bringing hands to hips, and then coming up into shoulder stand. So bringing your feet up. Again, don't turn your head. Bringing your hips in line with your shoulders. And when you're ready, coming back into plow, bringing feet behind head. And making your way down, supporting your hips with your hands on the way down if your feet don't touch the earth behind you. If they do, you can bring your hands to your ankles and slowly bring your hips down, stopping and resting on your upper back. And hips are coming down. Slowly we'll make our way up. You can rock up to your seated position, or you can turn to one side and come up. Excuse me. And find your blanket. And we'll come into Ardha Matsyendrasana, half Lord of the Fishes pose. So let's start with our right leg. Bend your right leg, and if you're sitting on your blanket and you need, pull your blanket up, and so you can put your foot under your blanket. And then bring your left leg over. Your left foot is on the right side of your right leg, and your sits bones are on the earth. So we're coming into a twist. Twists are warming, and so that's why we're doing it, just to keep the warmth going in the middle of the body, and so that we can circulate it to the periphery of the body. With our breath, we're being present in our body, so we know our hearts, we know our truth, and that's where we come from. We don't get all wigged out with our amazingly witty Uranian mind, or witty, smart, however you want to see it. So bringing hands to cactus arms. Inhale. Exhale, twist just from the torso. Don't use your hands at all yet. Inhale again. And then exhale, you can hook your elbow, bringing your left arm behind you. Right elbow is hooked and gaze comes behind you. Seeing how far you can bring the eyes around as well. Inhale, unwind, coming back to center, and switch the legs. Oh, goodness. I'm just breathing into my hips for a second. I'm really feeling this posture in my left front hip. Inhale, cactus arms, lengthen spine. Exhale, twist from the belly button. Inhale. Exhale, twist. You can hook the arm, bring the right arm down behind you. Gaze comes behind you. Inhale, unwind. And bringing feet out in front. We'll just come into a forward fold. So bring hands to the sides of your legs. Inhale, lengthen spine. Exhale, forward fold. Start with a straight back first. So you can bring shoulder blades down the back. That helps keep your back straight. And then again here, supporting the hips. Helps to keep your back straight too. And then when you're ready, you can round the back, exhale, forward fold. We're here for introspection time, honoring this new moon time, as this is when you're practicing, honoring any seeds that you want to plant for this new moon cycle. And being present in our bodies. Inhale, making your way up. And coming into Shavasana. So making yourself comfortable, remembering that we want to stay warm. I'm gonna grab my socks. Feeling free to cover yourself up with a blanket. And making your way down, if you haven't already, to your back. Feet are wider than the hips. Hands are wider than the shoulders. Toes can fall out to the outsides. And just letting all of the postures and all of the presence sink into our bones, giving our body and mind a rest. When you are ready, begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes. You can stretch your arms above your head. Point the toes. Bringing life back into the body. And slowly, slowly making your way over to one side in the fetal position. Pushing up, finding your blanket, and coming to seated. And for our pranayama today, let's continue the ujjayi that we've been practicing throughout practice. If you feel comfortable, you're welcome to take a pause and retain the breath in between the inhale and the exhale, and then again in between the exhale and the inhale. But just pause for a count of 1, and then continue. If you want to have your breath just be free, or if you're new at pranayama, then just let your breath be free. If you'd like to try to count your breaths, let's do an inhale of 4 and an exhale of 4. So that would be inhale 4, retain 1, exhale 4, retain 1. Begin. Finish the breath that you're on and take 1 more full inhale and exhale. And bringing hands to heart center. Gratitude for self for coming to practice today. Gratitude for the present moment. And gratitude for all the forces at play in the universe and how we can dance with them. Remembering our mantra, when I am present in my body and heart, I know my truth, my unique truth. I radiate from this place. Namaste. I hope you continue this practice throughout Aquarius season and that it serves you well. I hope that everybody has beautiful circulation this Aquarius season and can beautifully just be present in our bodies and embrace this time, this fixed time of winter, and be in your flow. Thank you so much for practicing today with me, or practicing with me always. And if you have any questions or comments, please message me. I really want to get to know you guys, and I'm really thankful for all of you who are doing these practices. And if you feel like sharing, I would also be so grateful for that too. So I'm trying to get myself out there with yoga online. So namaste.